Hi, everybody. Welcome to our next episode of Flip. I'm Stefan Day. I'm here with Mahmoud Mahoudi. This week, we're discussing the resources available to help us as individuals and small businesses, both from government and non-governmental aspects. So Mahmoud, real quick, could you let us know who you are and why we're listening to you in this episode?
Hi. Yeah, great to be back and doing another video. Yeah, in this episode, because as a person, when I was going through, we run two small businesses and, also work as a self-employed person. So going through all these different channels of applying for all this help and support and everything in this trying time, I realized that actually a lot of them are more complicated than what it seems, that you just go in, fill a form, and that's it. So we decided to aggregate the information, what we learned personally in this procedure, and put it together in a short video for anyone out that it could help them.
Beautiful. Yeah. And I'm Stefan Day. I'm a video guy, a creative freelancer here in New York. And I'm someone who doesn't have my finances in very good order. So I always learn a lot talking to Mahmoud and Sasha about what are some practical steps that I can do. So I'm here with you learning and hoping to help get this out. Also to note that Mahmoud here in we're neighbors here in the East Village in New York City, and Mahmoud has also been helping out a lot of other small businesses that are here to help them navigate. Because a lot of times as a small business, you're just trying to get the things happening day to day, and Mahmoud's really done some research and say what kind of help is out there. So what are the latest updates in our current situation, Mahmoud, that you might want to share with the crew based on your research?
Yeah, great. As probably by now most people know, as of the very latest updates, we have over 22 million official subscription for the unemployment, but we all know that's very complicated and a lot of people are not able to get it through the system. So there are a lot of reports that say that probably the unofficial report is something around 50 million number. And to put it in a scale, that is nearly 1/3 of the US workforce. So the numbers are really high. Or there are some specific statistics that came out that was shocking to me per se. Like, for example, right now in LA County, which is the biggest county in the United States, even bigger than New York County, we have more people out of job than we have people in the jobs left. So literally for the first time ever in history, less than half of the eligible workforce are at work right now. Or the other statistic that I saw that was shocking was that these days, in every given day, at least 12,000 corona-related GoFundMe campaigns come up, GoFundMe and similar websites. At least 12,000 a day. And that shows that also a lot of people are in dire need of help. And the other thing that it also shows is that the more it goes, the more we realize that it's not a 1 week or 2 week thing. It is actually becoming into a long-term thing, And bigger than that, we realize that it's not like one day that like a switch that you flip it on and everyone will go back to work and life will be back to normal. There are gonna be a very, very long time before we even get back to the new normal. Just to put some new news that are around, there's a very good chance that a lot of colleges do not get back in-person classes and stuff till 2021. A lot of events, concerts, sport events might not come back in the bigger states till 2021. So the impacts are gonna be like way longer than we first imagined it.
For those of us that are thinking about this as individuals and seeing that our life is going to be dramatically shifting, or it's going to take longer to return to normal than we actually thought, what kind of government supports are available to us as individuals right now?
Okay, great question. So on an individual level, there are the helps that are available from the public side of the story is two main things. One is the stimulus check that enough has been talked about. More than 90% of Americans are qualified to receive this stimulus check. The only people that don't receive it are people that their latest submitted tax return was over $99,000, or the people that are dependent to someone, and so someone else claim them as dependent. Otherwise, you are receiving that check or that direct deposit, which actually has become a bit of trouble in the sense that as of yesterday, over 80 million Americans have received it. But still, tens of millions of people have not received it for a lot of reasons. You know, either the system has gone wrong, either they haven't filed their taxes, or anything like that. So I strongly encourage people to go to IRS website. I will put the link here to check on the status of their stimulus check. And it's very interesting because you could have done everything right and still, for whatever reason, they don't have bank information. This has happened to my partner, that we just went in, she filed the taxes, she got returns, everything was normal. So we went there and they were like, we don't have your bank information. So we put it in and they were like, we'll send you the money soon. Or there have been people that went there and they were like, oh, actually, you need to, tell us more information about that. But one thing that I would like to emphasize is that millions of people are going there, and there's this message that we can't find you in the system, or based on our numbers, we can't evaluate what your situation is. Do not panic. Do not, think that, oh, I'm not going to get the money. Everyone is if you are deserving to get the money, if you are qualifying to get the money, you are getting that money. It's just the first time ever that they try to do that, or unlike any other system, it's full of glitches.
That's really great kind of advice. And those of us that don't work in the back end of websites, which Mamad does and has in the back, knows that there's a lot of it's not personal, like the website and the system is just not working right, or there's something wasn't connected. So just, there is a patience, and, it's a standard customer service issue to a certain degree, eh?
We have two things for the individuals to discuss: the stimulus check and the unemployment.
Uh-huh.
As we mentioned, the number of people that have unfortunately gone unemployed, reduced hours, furloughed, and things like that have skyrocketed. Never experienced ever in the modern history. So fortunately, they increased the bandwidth of people that qualify for unemployment. Historically, it was only for people that have worked a certain amount of hours and made certain amount of money in the last 18 or 36 months and things like that. Now they have expanded it to include the freelancers, to include, individuals that, work for themselves as the self-employed people. It includes the part-time people. So majority of people that are going to be applying for that are people that have never done in the past. And the system is not even designed for that historically. So there are a lot of questions that you receive that you're like, what? This doesn't make sense, So they have tried to put, we are talking about the state of New York, they have tried to put some guidelines out for people that are self-employed or freelancers that are filing that. We are going to put the link down here for you to have that. Moreover, it's a lot of people applying that. There's no official statistics, but the unofficial statistics says that, as an example, in the state of New York, with 14 million working people, over 7 million people are trying to file for unemployment. And this is a system that was built for like 50,000 people to apply, not 7 million people. So it has been weeks that it has had some of the funniest glitches that I have ever seen. But they have been working really hard on fixing it. So every day that I have gone in to see how it's working and everything, I have seen the improvements that they have done there. But still, it's nowhere near what it could have been. So I want to acknowledge that. But still, it's workable. And if you have applied and haven't got it together, don't be worried. It is coming, it's trickling in, but it's coming in. But if you have not applied, you should go in. We'll put the link and everything for you to apply if you are qualifying for that. And even if you don't think you qualify, go there and check their check mark list. It's actually pretty straightforward to see how it works. And once you fill the forms and everything, before how it worked is that you had to call a phone number to confirm all your information. And that no phone number got ultra overwhelmed. And people were not able to reach through that. So the latest update as of today is that now they reverse the system, that they are gonna call you within 72 hours of filing the system. So after you file, have your phone with you, don't put it on silent or anything like that. Be on alert, so you receive that. It's actually a pretty short call. They will confirm your information and they approve it and they get it going. But the key is, as I know, as complicated and stressful it could be for you, the patience is the key here to get through that and get that rolling.
That's important. Just so to recap, Mamad, that they're going to fill out the application. They're going to keep their phone available to receive a phone call from the department within 72 hours to confirm it. And then above all in these scenarios, just, you know, we understand the frustration. The frustration is normal, but there's an advantage to coming into a place of patience with it, that everyone in that institution is working to support you and help to get you the funds and resources that they've allotted for you. And they want you to get those resources because it's going to help the entire economy by you being taken care of. Is that an okay summation?
That actually is a great summation. Yeah, it's
Okay.
important to understand that as frustrating as it is, you know, it's not on a personal level. And it's like, you know, it's a system going through something that has never gone through. So it takes time for them to get it together, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that's the reality of that. But at the same time, there are also few good news. One of those good news is that the payments that are available are significantly higher than usual. Based on which state you are and everything, there were limits to, for example, how much you could get. But now there are some additional things that are more case by case. But if I want to put like a very general phrase there, a lot of people would get $600 a week more than what they would have received in a regular scenario if they were unemployed.
Wow.
Which is actually not a small amount of money. That comes to around $2,600 a month.
Wow.
And extra on what they would have received. So this is designed in a way to help people. And also they have extended the length of how long, for example, in New York State, it used to be based on your case between 13 to 26 weeks of you being eligible to receive that. Now they have increased it to 39 weeks, which is nearly 9 months. So there are all of these small things that are going through to support you and help you. So as hard as it is, just hopefully we have to be patient to make sure that this gets through. And also the other thing that they have said is still to see how it falls, is that they will backdate a lot of that to the date that you applied and it went through. So, you know, hopefully you do not lose the money that you have not received on those lists. It will come later, but you will still receive it.
Great. And I just want to say, if you're dealing with this lag in getting the resources that you thought you were going to get, if you go back to our episode 1, Mamad does break down some very important decision-making about dealing with minimal funds in a situation. And that may help to put in place some strategies if you're in a place waiting for the funds to arrive. I wanted to move on, if you're okay, Mamad, now to move into like small businesses. And right now, just focusing into, if we're a small business right now, what government resources are available to help us and to help our business in this time of transition?
Great. Yeah. So if you're a small business, that historically refers to any industry that has less than 500 employees, there were actually 4 different types of support that was originally designed to help people. The disaster loan, that official name is EDIL loan. Payroll protection plan, which is PPP, the official name. And then 2 other ones, MSELF and bridge and debt relief loans. So we get to each one by one. Disaster loan, EDIL loan. This was supposed to be the easiest one, that if you go through that within 72 hours, they will send you up to $10,000 just to keep your daily cash flow going till you get the other ones in place. Unfortunately, it did not play out as it was supposed to. There are companies that have applied over 4 weeks ago and still have not heard back. And as of now, they actually don't accept any new application because the original funding that was available for that is dried and not available. But they are still processing the ones that are in the system. But keep an eye on that. We'll put the link for you. Keep an eye on that. And hopefully it will reopen soon because there is a new batch of budget that is being discussed in Congress right now that hopefully will pass soon and will refund this system. So they will reopen it hopefully soon. So have an eye on that and go and apply as soon as possible. The most famous one is the second one, the payroll protection plan. That the idea was that it would help the small businesses not to fire their employees, not to let their employees go, keep them going, and the government would give 2.5 months of their payroll and the rent expenses as a loan to the companies. And then if they keep their employees, they can be forgiven for the first 8 weeks of that. So for nearly it's as if for the first 2 months of you getting the loan, the government pays your rent and your all your payroll. So it actually was a good plan. And that still accepts applications. But as of now, they also have run out of the money. And if you have applied and you have not received it, you are not among the very few that are there. Only actually 4.3% of the small businesses in the United States received that. I don't say to be in a disheartening way. I'm just saying that to say that you did nothing wrong if you did applied and you did not receive it. But at the same time, still follow up with your financial institution. If you haven't applied, continue applying. Because the same as the first case, there are the new budgets that are being discussed and hopefully will be injected into the system very soon. We are talking about the matter of the weeks that can start paying this system. And it can be a big deal to keep this short-term cash flow to keep your business going on.
So the summation there is that that I'm hearing, the main takeaway there is if you haven't received the money or the programs have dried out, that doesn't mean you don't keep reapplying, because there's a strong possibility that they're going to replenish these programs, and you basically want to be in line. You want to have your foot in the door in the process, so it's like, yes, the supermarket's closed right now, still get in line anyways, because when they open the door, you want to be able to go in and get your food. That might be the best analogy, but sorry, my thing is closed. Yeah. So when we go into, did we cover everything you wanted to cover in terms of small businesses from government? I know that you have some stuff that's non-governmental.
Yeah, but on the government side, there are a few other ones that are actually a bit more complicated, like MSELF, bridge loan, debt relief loan. And so it's not exactly for everyone. So I will put the explanation and the links for people that are interested in our description, and they can go and read further about that. But let's not talk about them now.
So now are we clear to move into the non-governmental opportunities or resources?
Yeah. So as you heard, the public institutions are under a lot of stress and under a lot of pressure just by the sheer enormous size of this issue. So, they are not the only resources available. There are actually a lot of private, or let's say non-federal resources available. Some public in local level, some private level. So on the private level, let me make a few examples. For example, Facebook. Facebook has issued a grant for $100 million. We'll put the link for the application here. That is actually not a small amount of money for small businesses, that some of that is in the sort of cash, at least they give you cash. Some part of that is they give you ad credit. So once all of this is done, you can start, promoting your business and everything, to get the business going. There are some that we'll put the links that are for nonprofits. Hey, if you are a nonprofit in New York City or other parts of the state, they are different. We'll put all the links that you can apply to get the resources for your nonprofit to keep going in the short term till the life comes back to a new normal. Even on the public, local level, there are some things available. For example, City of New York designed a small budget for very small businesses that you are between 1 employee to 4 employees, that you could come in and apply for that, and the city would pay 40% of your payroll to help you going. That's similar to the federal level ones, have dried up very fast. But the same way, there are a lot of negotiations to re-inject budget to that. So go there and continue your application. Once the doors reopen, you want to be in the queue, and hopefully a lot of those budgets will be injected to that so they can continue supporting more and more people there. Or there are also other other funds available for if you are an artist, if you are a freelancer that are going through that. A lot of grants available that you can apply. We'll put there are actually 2 or 3 very good sites that have aggregated, they are aggregators of all these grants for this COVID-19 issue. So we'll put the link there that you can go put your physical location, your field and everything, and it will filter it and give it to you exactly the grants that are available for you to apply. And you should apply to as many as possible, because you're hoping to get, you're increasing your chances of getting at least one of them.
And just to say too, that like those links that he's talking about, he's doing this gesture. Some of them will be relevant. They'll be short enough that we can put them in the video and you can see them, but we'll always put them in a clickable version down below in the comments for the video. So you might see it, but you go find a way to click easy. And some of the links just won't make sense for us to put in the video. So where are you seeing the hope in any of this, Mahmoud, or the hope through this process?
Yeah, so there is it's very easy to lose hope in the middle of all of this and feeling that doomsday thing that everything is fucked and there is no solution. And to be very honest, we all have bare stuff that even I do have sometimes, like, oh my God, there's no hope. But when you look at that in the big picture, actually there is a lot of hope. One is that it's showing the love that is out in the world. And all these campaigns, all these things that people that are going through hardship, but then they are seeing other people that need money and they help them either through all these support systems or through all these things, that people are coming more and more together. It's beautiful to see that, because at the end of the day, people are realizing that we are really in this together. Not in a very privileged way of like celebrities saying, oh, we are in this together, but more toward a very conscious level that we are in this together, that we cannot have a thriving society if a part of that society is really crippled by the economic and the health challenges. Just coming to the surface that, because if those people cannot take care of themselves, then the virus will spread. Then, for the future things, when, the environmental crisis come, then, the next thing that comes in, the next pandemic that comes, we need to provide some standards for everyone in the society if we want everyone in the society to thrive. You cannot exclude a part of people. It also is showing that, a lot of these nationalizations and national policies that people were putting, especially in the last 10 years or so, a lot of governments were going toward, internally like that. Hey, our own country, we deal with ourselves only. We don't care about others type thing. Is not working, because as it's showing is that a lot of things are global and needs to be dealt on a global level. And more than anything, this new awareness that is coming up, that a lot of things that we were saying as the set in the stone, that these are how everything should be run, are being questioned. And a lot of new systems that take care of people and respect people's like basic needs as the human rights is totally coming to the surface. And the people that we would never imagine, I would never imagine in my lifetime, that some of, for example, the very hardcore conservative people that would talk about basic human rights are now the champions of that. And that actually warms my heart a lot, that this can bring people together, and this can be the place that unites people together.
Yeah, I think I just think on a personal level, like the level of how rare it was for me to have like a human moment of exchange with a grocery store worker before. And I've always loved those experiences. But now that when I go to the grocery store, it's a collective understanding that these are the heroes holding together our society, our ability to eat, and our framework, and they're treated at that level. And that's just one example where the interconnectedness and the interreliance that we have as a community, as a society, is so highlighted right now and so real, that yes, it does warm my heart, and it makes me go like, wow, to a certain degree. And I know that there's so much death, destruction, challenge, starvation right now, but in certain elements I'm like, wow, I wish this would always be like this. I wish we would have this much respect and this much care and this much concern for each other's well-being, from now forward. So I hope that we figure out a way to hold into that place and build a society that really is structured in that place, structured in that way. So that concludes our episode today. We are publishing this content to Facebook, to YouTube, as well as we have our website, flipthis.life. We're opening up the other social media channels as well. Actually, if you have insight about where we should be putting this content, we'd love to hear some insight on that. We're going to be putting out an episode at least once a week. Stay tuned and follow us in any of those locations that make sense for you of where you'd like to get your content. And we'll see you next time.